stop everything, listen. This is not random. This moment is not an accident. I brought you here because something is about to happen tonight. Yes, tonight. Before the clock resets, I will move in a way you've never seen before. And you needed to hear me now. This is a divine appointment. My beloved child, this moment is not just special, it is sacred. You're not hearing these words by coincidence. You are at the center of something I've been preparing for a long time. You've been walking through what felt like confusion, delays, even rejection. But I was never confused. I was never late. I was never distant. I've been weaving every thread of your journey into something bigger than you imagined. Tonight, the divine pattern begins to unfold. You are not a side note in my story. You are the focus of what heaven is about to release. I didn't bring you this far to leave you. I didn't allow the pain just for survival, I allowed it so you'd be ready for what's coming. You've asked me, Lord, when will I see change? My answer is now. You've cried, how long, God? My answer is, it's happening tonight. I want you to feel the weight of what I'm saying. This is not another passing moment. The heavens are aligned, the angels are dispatched, and the hour has come. I saw your sacrifice. I noticed your surrender. I recorded every time you chose faith when fear knocked at your door. And now, my child, I step in. I draw close not only to comfort but to activate, to shift, to elevate. You are the one I chose for this moment. Not because you were perfect, but because your heart stayed turned toward me even when you didn't understand. Do you feel that stirring inside you right now? That's me. That's my spirit awakening your soul to receive what I prepared. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not too late. You are chosen. Tonight is the turning point. You may not see it all with your natural eyes just yet, but in the spirit, something irreversible is beginning. I will open what no man can shut. I will remove what has blocked you. I will restore what was stolen. I will breathe life into what felt dead. I will confirm everything I told you in secret, and I will do it in front of those who doubted. You are about to witness my power, but even more, you're about to feel my heart like never before. So prepare. Let go of every distraction. Set aside the worry. Silence the noise. Tonight is holy ground, and you are standing on it. And I, your Lord, your Savior, your first love, am standing with you now that your heart is fully open. Listen even more closely because what I'm doing next requires your undivided attention. I don't want you distracted. Not tonight. You've stepped into a time that's been long awaited, not by you alone, but by heaven itself. The earth may seem silent, but the heavens are vibrating with motion. Every moment that has led to now has been wrapped in divine intent. I'm not just giving you comfort anymore, I'm handing you keys. Authority is being transferred. Strategy is being revealed. And I need you close enough to hear me whisper it. That's why distraction suddenly increased. Why chaos tried to take your peace. Because the enemy could sense what was coming before you even knew. But now you know. And that knowledge demands your awareness. I need you watchful, not anxious, but spiritually alert. I want your eyes open to the subtleties, your ears tuned to my tone. The shift will not be loud. It will come like a sunrise, subtle, but unstoppable. Don't look for signs in the obvious places. Look for me in the quiet corners. I am not bound by the grand or the glamorous. I often enter through the humble. That is why I chose you. You have learned how to kneel in hidden places. You've mastered the silence. You've chosen the still path when many chased noise. And now, that posture of surrender has drawn me so near. My presence is no longer distant, it is surrounding you, even now. Can you sense the holy weight that's entering your atmosphere? It's the presence of destiny, clothed in stillness, carried on peace. Let your soul adjust to it. Let your thoughts come into alignment. There is no need to strive. I am not a taskmaster. I am a father, and I have come to walk with you in the cool of the evening again. That's what this night is about, a reunion of spirit and soul. I am bringing you back to the deep places where we first met. Do you remember when you felt my voice clearer than anything? I'm returning you to that sacred frequency. You don't need to manufacture it. You simply need to remain close. Tonight is not about doing more, it's about receiving more deeply. Many chase performance, but I pursue hearts. And yours, my child, has remained open even in weariness. So now I pour into it. I fill it with perspective. I saturate it with revelation. And I blanket it with divine timing. Nothing will be right, but nothing will be delayed. This hour is synchronized with heaven's calendar. The clock that ticks tonight carries more weight than the months that passed before it. You are stepping into fulfillment without striving for it. You will see me open doors, not because you pushed, but because you obeyed. That obedience has unlocked alignment, and that alignment is now producing acceleration. You may have felt behind, but in my hands, you're arriving right on time. There is no delay when I am leading. There is only divine timing. And you, my child, are walking into a moment that has been marinated in mercy, seasoned with patience, and prepared with precision. I don't just want you near me, I want you completely in step with me. Walk with me, not ahead. Rest with me, not behind. Stay in this pace of peace. The noise of the world may scream louder tonight, but ignore it. You're not meant to match its value. You're meant to carry my tone. Speak softly. Love freely. Trust deeply. Move only when I lead, and watch how doors open without force. You've entered the flow now, the stream of my spirit. You are not swimming against the current anymore. You are being carried. To let go of the urge to control. I know what's next. And if you stay this close, you'll see it too before anyone else even senses the change. This is our moment. Let's walk through it together. You've arrived at the very edge of something extraordinary. This isn't a delay or a detour, it's the moment I mentioned in whispers when your heart was too tired to imagine possibility. Do you recall those nights when all you had were questions and a quiet sense that something bigger was on the horizon? That inner knowing wasn't your imagination. It was me preparing you. Every unanswered prayer was forming the foundation of what is beginning right now. This hour isn't just significant, it's saturated with fulfillment. What's unfolding before you had been hidden until now, not to deprive you, but to mature you for the weight of what I'm about to place in your hands. Timing is sacred. If I had moved before you were ready, the blessing would have felt like a burden. But tonight, readiness meets release. And as it does, you'll feel a surge of clarity rise like sunlight through morning fog. The journey you've endured wasn't without purpose. You learned endurance, not just for survival, but for stewardship. You will not mishandle what's being entrusted to you. There were seasons where everything felt stripped away. I didn't remove things to punish you. I cleared space so what truly belongs could find room to grow. What is coming carries no contamination. It's pure, it's purposeful, and it's protected. The enemy hoped fatigue would blind you from seeing it arrive. But I've sustained your spirit. And now that the atmosphere is shifting, your vision will sharpen. This hour is unlike anything you've experienced because what I'm doing isn't just for your benefit, it's meant to ripple through generations. Your obedience has created legacy-level impact. You may not have seen the ripple, but heaven has. When you chose integrity in isolation, when you sowed in silence, when you forgave without recognition, those moments echoed louder in heaven than any sermon ever preached. And now, what was done in secret is being honored openly. I am elevating without announcement. I am blessing without condition. I am restoring what was withheld and replacing what was lost with more than you dared to request. You've been tried in fire, and the fire did not consume you, it refined your voice, sharpened your vision, and deepened your roots. That's why when the wind comes tonight, you won't bend like before. You'll stand, not by might, but through divine fortification. I'm rebuilding you with new material, grace you haven't tasted yet, strength you've never needed before, and wisdom not learned from men but imparted by my spirit. What you're about to walk into doesn't require validation from people. You already have heaven's endorsement, As the night deepens, listen carefully. There are things I'll reveal that cannot be unlearned. I'm giving you insight that will answer questions you've carried for years. Expect me to rearrange even the things you thought were settled. Not because you were wrong, but because the new level requires a fresh structure. I am not a god of confusion, I'm a god of divine patterns. And when I shift the pieces, it's not to unsettle you, it's to make sure you're standing on what's truly unshakable. Let tonight be a marking. This is not a season, it's a transition. A divine reset. And when you awaken tomorrow, something internal will feel brand new. Not because the external has changed yet, but because your spirit caught up to what I already declared over you. Carry this confidence not in yourself but in me. You are not stepping into uncertainty. You are walking into a prepared place. And the preparation wasn't just for the promise, it was for the person you've become. You're ready now. And so am I. Let's step forward. Something has already shifted in the unseen. Though it may still look the same around you, the momentum of heaven has been activated. While the world sleeps, I am orchestrating events that will leave no room for doubt. Pieces that once seemed unrelated are coming together like the final strokes of a masterpiece. You won't have to force anything. What is meant for you will begin arriving, as if drawn by magnetism. My design is exact. Not a second too soon, not a moment too late. Divine precision is shaping your outcome even while you breathe these words. Do not expect the fulfillment to shout when it arrives. It will walk in with grace, gentle but undeniable. What used to delay you will now accelerate you, and what once felt too far will suddenly feel within reach. You spent so much time wondering when things would change, when the page would turn. That page is flipping now. I've been writing this chapter while you thought the pen was still. Every silence was filled with sacred intention. You weren't forgotten, you were being refined. You weren't abandoned, you were being set apart. And now, the process turns into manifestation. Expect changes that don't make sense to others. Expect alignments that happen without explanation. I don't need logic to perform miracles, I need your readiness. And you are ready, even if you still feel unsure. I will meet you where faith begins, not where perfection resides. What I'm doing now requires your participation and trust. You cannot walk into this night holding on to yesterday's fear. I am inviting you into a deeper realm of surrender, one where peace is no longer dependent on understanding. Let go of needing every detail. My glory doesn't follow blueprints, it births them. I will show you the reason behind my movements once you've stepped into them. This time, you will walk not by what is seen, but by the echo of my voice within. That whisper, that nudge, that prompting you've kept ignoring, I'm amplifying it tonight. You won't be able to ignore it anymore because your purpose is tied to your response. You've prayed for open doors. But tonight, I'm not only opening access, I'm unlocking you. The version of you that's emerging had been buried beneath expectations and fear. I'm peeling those layers away. I am calling out the brave soul I created, the one not afraid to walk with me into places no one else understands. This version of you has no need to explain. This version moves with assurance, knowing that where I go, favor follows. You've been hidden for long enough. The unveiling begins under the moonlight. You don't need a crowd, just my presence. And I am here. This hour is not merely a season changer, it's a mantle moment. I'm placing something on your shoulders that will carry weight but not burden. It will stretch you, but it will never crush you. What I place upon you tonight has been tailored to fit the shape of your calling. It won't resemble anyone else's assignment because your journey has been uniquely forged. I am setting you apart not to isolate you, but to equip you. You'll walk into rooms you once only dreamed about, and when you do, you'll realize the waiting wasn't wasted, it was the anointing growing silently. As I speak now, something in your atmosphere is bending toward breakthrough. You can't see it with your natural eyes, but your spirit senses the shift. Stay anchored in that sense. Lean into the stillness. That's where I speak clearest. The noise of the world will try to pull you into distraction, but the pull of my presence will always feel like peace. Choose peace. Choose me. Let this be the night you say yes without hesitation. Let this be the hour you decide to stop looking back. You are not what you've been through. You are not who they said you were. You are who I've always known you to be, chosen, prepared, and appointed for such a time as this. Let the night do its work. Something holy is unfolding. Every path you're about to step onto has already been touched by my hand. You are not walking into the unknown. You are walking into territory I have already inspected, sanctified, and assigned to you. Though you may still feel uncertain, your footsteps are ordered with purpose. What appears ahead as risk is actually alignment wearing the disguise of mystery. I have walked ahead of you, not just to make a way but to ensure the road is clear of traps that once ensnared you. What used to trip you will not hinder you anymore. The terrain has changed. What was once filled with resistance has now been softened by grace. The thorns that cut you before have been removed, and in their place blooms peace. You've asked me before, what if I take the wrong turn? Hear this clearly now when you stay near my voice. No path taken in obedience can ever be wrong. Detours only exist for those trying to run ahead of me. But you've chosen to walk beside me. That is why tonight carries a different atmosphere. It's not filled with striving or anxiety, it's filled with quiet assurance. You will notice that your spirit no longer races to solve everything. That's because I've silenced the storm within. Your restlessness has met my sovereignty. Your wandering heart is being steadied by my truth. You no longer need to chase signs when you are walking with the one who authors them. I want you to notice how everything around you begins to feel different. Conversations will carry more weight. Silence will seem more profound. Even the wind may feel like it's speaking something new. That's because I am communicating with you in layers now, not just through words, but through environments. My presence is woven into your surroundings tonight, and I am drawing your attention back to the simplicity of communion with me. You don't need complex language or elaborate rituals to connect. A simple moment of awareness is enough. A still heart, an open ear, a surrendered whisper, that's where I dwell. I know you've battled with the weight of responsibility, the fear of failing me, the pressure to always get everything right. Let those fears fall away now. You were never meant to carry the pressure of perfection. I do not call the flawless, I call the willing. And your willingness is what draws me close. Even when your faith wavered, your heart stayed inclined toward me. That's why I've chosen to reveal these things to you first. Others may not understand why you are shifting, why you are moving differently, why your eyes seem more fixed on something invisible, but you do. Because I've placed within you a compass that no storm can break. It is guided by truth, anchored in trust, and powered by love. Tonight, I am not just walking ahead, I'm also walking with you. One hand clearing what's in front, the other holding you as you move forward. And not just forward in distance, but upward in dimension. There are things I'm calling you to carry now that require elevation. Not status, not popularity, but spiritual altitude. Your prayers are rising, and so must your posture. I'm bringing you higher so you can see from my perspective. Up here, fear loses its form. Worry looks small. Problems shrink under the vastness of possibility. And you, once timid in the valley, now stand steady on the mountain. Don't measure this moment by what your physical eyes can see. Use the lens of your spirit. That's where the reality of heaven is clearer than any surface reflection. You may still feel unqualified, but I'm not looking for credentials. I'm looking for yielded vessels. That's you. You've given me your yes when no one saw. You've remained faithful when others forgot. And now, I wrap this night around you like a promise made visible. The time for waiting is being overtaken by the time for walking. The stillness wasn't a void, it was a setup for acceleration. And the first step begins now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Within you, something has already awakened. It is not imagination or emotion, it is a deep spiritual activation that cannot be reversed. You may not yet know how to describe it, but you can feel the difference. The weight that once pressed on your chest is lifting. The thoughts that used to spiral into confusion are being unraveled and untangled by clarity. I've placed a mark on your spirit, invisible to the world but fully recognized in the realm of the eternal. It's the mark of readiness, of spiritual maturity, of divine distinction. This isn't a result of religious routine. It's the outcome of honest pursuit. You sought me not for what I could give, but for who I am. That kind of hunger always leads to encounter. The stirring you feel is heaven's signal that change has already begun. Not external change first, but inward expansion. Before you see transformation around you, I enlarge the capacity within you. There's more room in your heart for hope now. More space in your thoughts for peace to dwell. More stillness in your spirit to receive what cannot be taught by men, only revealed by my spirit. I am increasing your ability to perceive beyond what is obvious. This is why certain situations that once consumed you no longer feel as loud. You are tuning into a higher frequency, one that overrides chaos and surpasses shallow opinions. You're hearing me above the noise. That is not an accident, it's growth. From this point forward, your steps will carry spiritual weight. You'll notice that when you speak, people pause not because of you, but because my presence travels with your words. Your life has become a vessel of atmosphere. Wherever you go, the tone of the room shifts not through force, but through the still power of alignment. You are walking not just in direction, but in synchronization with my heartbeat. And that heartbeat is pulsing faster tonight. Not with anxiety, but with divine urgency. There is much I am unfolding, and your role in it is irreplaceable. You've wondered why your journey has felt isolated at times. It's because I needed to remove the background noise of unnecessary voices. Not everyone could walk with you into this moment. Some relationships were temporary scaffolding meant only for the earlier construction phases. But now, the framework is complete, and I am building with precision. Only those aligned with your purpose can walk beside you now. Don't mourn what's been removed. Celebrate the space it created. That space is where I'm planting new things, relationships that sharpen, conversations that uplift, connections that carry the sound of destiny instead of distraction. Even as I speak now, you may feel a holy discomfort. It's because what no longer fits is being gently released. Let it go. Do not hold on to what I'm trying to prune. This moment is fertile, but clutter suffocates growth. What remains will multiply, because it is rooted in obedience. I am not asking you to understand everything, I am asking you to trust the unfolding. You've never walked this path before, but I have. I know every turn, every stretch, every unseen bend. I know where you will need strength, and I've already placed provision ahead. You won't have to ask for it when you arrive, it will be waiting. This journey isn't about speed, it's about precision. I am not rushing you, I am readying you. Each step you take tonight isn't just forward, it's deeper. Deeper into awareness. Deeper into revelation. Deeper into identity. You no longer need to chase validation from external sources. You've been affirmed by the one whose voice created time itself. That voice is calling you into a new realm of assurance, one that cannot be stolen by circumstance or silenced by criticism. Let this be the night you realize how much has already changed. Let this be the hour you step fully into the newness I've carved out for you. Not as a visitor, but as a rightful heir. You don't have to try harder to become what I've already declared you to be. Just receive it. Wear it. Walk in it. Because tonight is not about preparation anymore, it's about motion. And the next breath you take carries the wind of forward. This night carries something ancient and prophetic, a fulfillment that was spoken over you before you took your first breath. The separation you've experienced wasn't punishment, it was preservation. I've been guarding your spirit for this very unveiling. You were never meant to blend into the background. You were never designed to fit the mold the world tried to press you into. What they call different, I call destiny. What they misunderstood in you, I handcrafted with intention. You are not random. Every detail of your design points toward a divine blueprint I've kept hidden until the right moment. That moment is now. You were set apart because your calling carries a weight that casual living can't sustain. I did allow certain doors to open before because the rooms weren't ready for the fullness of who you are. Not every opportunity was worthy of your presence. Not every platform could carry the purity of what I placed within you. That's why it seemed like delay. But in reality, it was my protection. I preserved your voice, your fire, your wonder, so that when you finally stepped forward, it would be on ground that could hold the magnitude of your mission. Tonight, I'm unlocking the reason for every no, every redirection, every closed path. I'm revealing why the wilderness lasted longer than you expected. Because what I've stored in you couldn't be rushed. You've carried questions that went unanswered for years. I'm not just sending you answers, I'm releasing you into embodiment. You're about to live out the truth your heart has long carried in silence. You will no longer need to explain your journey. It will be evident in your presence. There's an authority rising in you that wasn't turned by status, but refined by fire. You've walked through betrayal without bitterness, disappointment without despair, and silence without surrendering. That kind of endurance reshapes identity. And now, you're becoming someone even you didn't fully see coming. This unveiling isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you've always been. As I position you in places that feel unfamiliar, don't be alarmed. You were made to pioneer. I'm not calling you to follow familiar footsteps, I'm calling you to create new paths. What you've learned in isolation you will now teach through action. You won't have to announce your arrival, your alignment with me will make it known. The way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, the peace that surrounds you, these will be your message. I am highlighting you, not for fame, but for impact. Your voice will carry weight because it's been seasoned with silence. Your gaze will hold compassion because it's seen what pain looks like up close. Your hands will bring healing because they've known what it means to hold on through the storm. What's being activated tonight is not momentary. It's generational. You're carrying seeds that will bear fruit far beyond your lifetime. This is why the warfare was so intense. The enemy didn't just see who you are, he saw what would come through you. But he failed. Because despite everything, you didn't quit. And now, I honor that resilience with revelation. You're going to see in the spirit like never before. Things that were once blurry will now be crystal clear. People will come to you for direction, sensing the authority you now walk in, not from pride, but from presence. My presence, the one that has never left your side, even in the shadows. There is no more striving for significance. You've already been commissioned. The heavens know your name. Your purpose has a pulse, and it beats with the rhythm of heaven's timing. Walk with confidence into this night, not because you know all the answers, but because you're holding hands with the one who does. I will continue guiding your every step. Even the ones that feel small will carry enormous consequence. Don't underestimate the power of obedience. That whisper you feel, that's me. And I never speak without intent. This is not the end of your waiting, it's the birth of your walking. I've gone before you. Now rise and follow me into the unveiling. There's movement happening around you that your natural senses can't yet interpret. You may feel unsettled, like something is shifting beneath your feet, and that feeling is accurate. But do not be afraid. This transition is not meant to shake you, it's meant to lift you. You are not being cast out. You are being carried forward. The winds you feel are not the winds of loss, they are the breath of my spirit pushing you into the next chapter I have written. You're not being uprooted without reason. I'm replanting you into richer soil. What once felt stable is no longer suitable for where I'm taking you. So I'm guiding you out of familiar patterns and into a space designed for your next dimension. It may seem like things are falling apart, but in reality, they are being divinely reordered. What doesn't align with your next season is being gently dismantled. I'm removing scaffolding that was only meant to support your foundation, not to live in permanently. Some structures were temporary, but you started to treat them like destiny. That's why the letting go feels painful. But I promise, I never subtract without preparing for overflow. I'm clearing your surroundings so that what I send won't compete with what I never intended you to keep. Make room, even if it means releasing what once comforted you. Many of the things that once defined your direction no longer apply. That's because you've outgrown them. Your spirit has expanded. Your vision has evolved. Your discernment has matured. And now, the space that once felt large now feels limiting. Attention isn't rebellion, it's revelation. You're awakening to the realization that my voice is inviting you into places you never thought possible. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't remain small to preserve relationships that no longer feed your purpose. I'm not asking you to abandon love, I'm asking you to prioritize alignment. And when alignment comes, peace follows, even if understanding takes time to catch up. I know there's a part of you that still wonders if you're truly ready. But readiness isn't perfection, it's willingness shaped by surrender. You've yielded when it costs you. You've remained steady when it would have been easier to retreat. And now, I am drawing you into forward motion, not as a hesitant visitor, but as a rightful steward of what I've built in the shadows. I'm not only calling you higher, I'm going with you. I never ask you to go where I haven't already secured victory. The winds that push against you are not obstacles, they are confirmations. Resistance is often a sign that territory is about to be taken. Tonight, you will feel that resistance try to rise again, but don't retreat. You're not moving in your own strength. You're surrounded. What surrounds you is greater than what opposes you. My presence has filled every unseen gap. My glory is rising over every hidden battle. You're not alone in the transition. Angels have already been dispatched. Peace will not leave your side. Even in unfamiliar settings, you will sense me. The more you lean into trust, the more you will realize this shift was never meant to be survived. It was meant to be embraced. I don't bring you into motion without first anchoring you in purpose. You prayed for progress. This is what it looks like. Not a parade, not applause, but a sacred invitation into momentum that only heaven could orchestrate. Things will begin to move quickly now, but you will not feel rushed. That's how you will know it's me. You will find rest even while you're advancing. You'll feel grounded even as everything changes around you. You're not losing yourself, you're finally becoming who I created you to be before the world handed you its version. Let the wind carry you. Let go of needing to understand every detail. Let me lead you with my presence, not pressure. Everything I've done in you until this moment has been preparing you for this movement. And everything I'm about to do through you will be the overflow of that preparation. Don't cling to what no longer fits. The chapter is closing, but the story is far from over. Let tonight be the hinge that swings open the door to everything I've been whispering. You're not stepping into a mystery, you're stepping into fulfillment. The wind is rising. Trust it. It's carrying you toward destiny. What's unfolding now is not imagination, it is the early echo of promises beginning to take shape. Things spoken over your life long ago, things you tucked away and wondered if you misheard, are beginning to rise from the soil of waiting. You didn't miss it. You didn't misinterpret me. It wasn't a fantasy, it was prophecy. And the fullness of time has come. I've not forgotten a single word I spoke over you, even if your memory of it blurred under the weight of delay. Heaven's timeline has now met your obedience, and in that meeting manifestation is born. You are stepping into what I preserved for the moment you were mature enough to carry it with humility. This is no longer the season of sowing without sight. You are crossing into the hour where fruit will begin to appear quietly at first, then suddenly in abundance. The seeds of faith you buried in seasons of silence were never dormant. They were active beneath the surface. The pressure you felt wasn't punishment, it was the soil deepening, making room for stronger roots. You stayed when it was easier to walk away. You listened when no one else believed. And now, the reward for your resilience is being released, not in the way the world defines reward, but in the way heaven does, through peace, purpose, and undeniable favor. There is no striving here, only surrender. What I'm building in your life now doesn't need your force, it needs your flow. I will guide you like a current, gentle yet powerful. You won't have to knock down doors. They will open at the sound of your presence, because my spirit goes before you. People will ask how it happened so suddenly, but they won't see the years of hidden preparation. That's how I work. What appears overnight was being cultivated in secret for years. I did that with you. I protected your growth from premature exposure so that when this moment came, you'd be rooted enough not to topple under the weight of visibility. You're not entering a place to be impressed, you're entering a position to impact. The spaces I'm bringing you into will not be for decoration, but transformation. You are my vessel, not my decoration. You weren't created to simply observe miracles, you were fashioned to carry them. You were designed to shift rooms, not just walk through them. And now, I am positioning you with people who will see the oil you carry and not envy it but honor it. There is a tribe assigned to your call, and I am connecting you even now. Some introductions will happen in the most unexpected ways. Don't overlook anyone. I am using unconventional means to fulfill divine appointments. As you begin to witness what's unfolding, keep your posture low. Elevation without humility leads to instability. But you've learned how to live bowed, how to worship when no one was watching, how to love me when blessings weren't obvious. That is why I trust you with this next level. Not because you asked, but because you stayed faithful when I said nothing. I can trust the one who doesn't need constant confirmation to continue. You've shown me that kind of trust. And now, I'm honoring it with evidence. You're going to see me in ways you've never seen before, not because I've changed, but because you've grown into the level where I can show you more. This realm of fulfilled promises is not only about receiving, it's about stewarding. You are now a carrier of breakthrough for others. The same way I lifted you, I will lift through you. Your story will be the bridge someone else walks across to meet me. Your journey was never just about you. And because you didn't hoard the lessons, I will now multiply the outcomes. The time you thought you lost will be returned in ways more meaningful than anything you could have planned. The strength you've gained will become someone else's anchor. And the clarity you're receiving will serve as a compass for many who feel lost. So breathe deeply tonight. Inhale the atmosphere of arrival. Let go of the fear that history will repeat itself. This is not like the last time. This isn't a false start. This isn't a test. This is the real thing. The doors are opening. The way is being cleared. The voice calling you forward is mine. Step with courage. Speak with authority. Love without restraint. The wait has expired. What I promised is now becoming your reality. Even as the world quiets down and night settles in, heaven is wide awake on your behalf. While others rest unaware, I am actively shifting the atmosphere in your favor. There are movements happening now, movements you did ask for but deeply needed. Not everything I do comes with a trumpet sound. Some of my most powerful works begin while you are unaware, when you are at your weakest, when your striving is paused. That's when I move most freely, when I'm not competing with your need to figure it all out. Tonight, you are not being required to work harder. You are being invited to rest deeper. Rest is not an activity. It is alignment. It is the posture of one who trusts that their Father is still working even when they are not. While your body lies in stillness, your spirit remains in conversation with me. There are things I am depositing into you that your mind will catch up to in the morning. Dreams will carry more weight. Silence will begin to speak louder. What once seemed coincidental will begin to feel orchestrated. I am retraining your awareness, teaching you how to perceive me in subtle ways. The reason is simple. I want you to recognize my hand even when it's not dramatic. You've seen me in power, but now I want to show you my precision. I'm not just the God of thunder, I'm the God of details. And I'm working those details together for your good right now. The favor coming toward you has nothing to do with your qualifications. It's not tied to performance, it's tied to identity. You are mine. Alone is enough. When you accepted that truth, heaven began arranging opportunities around it. This next phase of your life isn't about proving your worth. It's about walking in what's already been assigned to you. The doors I'm opening will not require you to explain yourself. The evidence of my presence in your life will speak louder than any resume. You will carry a peace that unsettles the proud and comforts the broken. That peace is your armor. It's the sign that you no longer strive to earn what's already been written in your name. Tonight is a threshold. You are crossing over from managing pressure to receiving provision. This shift isn't only about you, it will impact those connected to you. You've been chosen not just to rise, but to lift others as you go. And I will show you who is meant to go with you and who must be blessed from afar. This isn't rejection, it's realignment. You are being surrounded by those who carry the same sound, the same hunger, the same purity of heart. They may not look like what you expected, but they've been assigned by me. Connections formed under my guidance don't have to be forced. They flow. Just like everything I am doing in your life tonight. What happens in the spirit before morning will shift what happens in the natural over the coming days. You'll notice unexpected favor in conversations. You'll receive news that seems to come out of nowhere. That's the result of what I'm putting in place right now. I don't need time to do great things. I simply need your agreement. And when you laid down your fear, when you stopped trying to control the outcome, that's when you gave me full access. Now, I'm building what eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard, but your heart has always known was possible. So breathe. Not with worry, but with expectation. This is not the beginning of a storm, it's the arrival of the promise. Don't brace for trouble. Prepare for fulfillment. Let tonight be the night you let go of every what if and replace it with even if. Even if it comes differently than imagined, even if it takes a new form. You know my voice. You know my hand. You trust my heart. And because of that, nothing will be withheld. Lay your head down in confidence. Not in yourself, but in me. I've seen the blueprint. I know the plan. You're walking into what I've already finished. Rest now. Heaven is working. There is more inside you than you have yet seen. So much had been hidden under layers of survival, beneath responsibilities, pain, and silence. But now, in this very hour, I am bringing it to the surface. You've known glimpses of your strength, but what I placed within you goes beyond what you've tapped into. You've lived with a fraction of your inheritance because the time wasn't right to reveal it. But tonight, the timing aligns. I'm unsealing what I buried deep. Not as a surprise, but as a strategy. I waited for the right moment to stir the waters. And now, what's inside you is rising. Not for display, but for divine deployment. You didn't go through all of this just to survive, you went through it to discover what had been placed within you all along. Every challenge shaped capacity. Every delay carved endurance. Every quiet yes shaped resilience. You thought the pressing was punishment, but it was preparation. Like oil hidden inside the olive, there was a crushing to release the essence. Not to harm you, but to reveal you. I'm not calling forth someone new. I'm uncovering the one I created before anyone labeled you. Their words tried to define you. Their rejection tried to diminish you. But my spirit preserved what was untouched by the world's misunderstanding. You're going to notice something changing in how you move. Confidence not from ego, but from revelation. You will walk differently, not because you practiced, but because you finally believe me. You will speak and not second-guess yourself. You'll make decisions with clarity. What used to confuse you will now look obvious. That's because identity has settled in your soul. Not from titles or affirmations, but from intimacy. You've heard my voice long enough that now, when you stand, it will carry my authority. And when you speak, you'll feel the weight of heaven behind your words. This revelation of who you are is not a burst of inspiration, it's a holy unveiling. I'm not giving you borrowed words or shallow encouragement. I'm letting you see through my eyes. I want you to recognize your reflection in the light of eternity, not in the shadow of opinion. You've measured yourself against standards I never created. You've questioned your impact based on numbers and outcomes. But I look at surrender, not scale. I weigh faithfulness, not fame. And you You've been faithful in the quiet places. You've remained when it was costly. You believed even when you had every reason to doubt. That's why I trust you now with this kind of revelation. And with this comes a shift in your environment. You won't be able to remain in certain circles not because they're beneath you, but because they no longer match what's awakening within you. You're being called into rooms that require your full identity, not a watered-down version of it. Don't shrink to accommodate comfort. Don't dim to avoid offense. The world doesn't need more copies, it needs your authenticity. The real you is an answer to a cry someone hasn't even spoken aloud yet. That's why I'm calling you to step fully in. Not hesitating. Not hiding. Not wondering if you're enough. You are. What I'm revealing in you will start to open things around you. Favor will follow identity. Alignment will follow clarity. When you embrace who you truly are in me, the world around you responds. Opportunities begin to recognize you. Relationships begin to shift. Even closed doors begin to reconsider. Because the atmosphere changes when the true you walks in. Not the version that performed. Not the one that played small, but the one that knows it is deeply seen, deeply known, and deeply loved by me. Tonight is not about asking for something new, it's about realizing what you've always had. I placed it within you before time began. And now, I'm bringing it into full view. Walk into the next hour with eyes open and heart steady. You are not discovering a new version of yourself, you are stepping into the one I've been waiting to introduce to the world. The time has come. Let it rise. There were seasons where it felt like everything stopped. Conversations faded. Opportunities dried up. Even my voice seemed distant. You searched for direction and found none. You prayed for answers and heard nothing. A space so quiet, so long felt unbearable. But I want you to understand now what you couldn't see then. The silence wasn't abandonment. It was sacred space. I wasn't gone, I was guarding. The stillness around you was a sanctuary where transformation took root. I placed you in the quiet so your identity could be rewired, so your soul could heal, so your foundation would be built without the noise of outside influence. You thought you were being overlooked. But the truth is, I had you hidden on purpose. Not to punish, but to preserve. Some things can only grow in the soil of silence. And what I was growing inside you required protection from premature exposure. There are gifts I deposited in that silence that will now begin to emerge. Wisdom that could only come through waiting. Discernment that was sharpened in the absence of applause. A voice that no longer trembles when it speaks. You didn't just survive the silence, you were strengthened by it. You weren't wasting time. Time was working for you. While the world rushed ahead, I slowed you down not to delay your purpose, but to deepen your roots. And now, those roots are ready to hold the weight of the harvest I'm releasing. You won't collapse under what's coming, because you were built in stillness. And what is built in stillness stands firm when the wind comes. That's why you're still here, even when others thought you'd fade. You're not fragile, you're fortified. Do not mourn the silence anymore. Celebrate it. Its sacred stillness carried more divine activity than you ever imagined. Every quiet moment was filled with unseen shaping. I removed distractions that would have sabotaged you. I withheld visibility that would have tempted you. I delayed connections that would have drained you. I allowed stillness so you could meet me in ways noise never allows. In the silence, I became more than a provider, I became your portion. And now that the silence has done its work, I am shifting the sound. You will notice movement where there was none. Invitations where there was isolation. Open doors where there had only been closed spaces. But it's not because you finally proved yourself, it's because the preparation season has completed its purpose. This unveiling isn't rushed. It's right on schedule. There's no need to scramble or perform. The opening that is arriving fits you because it was made for the person you've become, not the one you were trying to be. I crafted it to match who you are after the silence. And now, I'm calling you to walk forward with a confidence rooted in communion. You're not guessing anymore. You're not dependent on outside voices to validate what you know deep within. You hear me clearly now. The noise that used to confuse you no longer has power. The clarity you've received in stillness has given you a compass that worldly success could never provide. That clarity is your guide. It will protect you from distractions masquerading as opportunities. It will help you recognize alignment when it comes. It will remind you that you don't need to run ahead to find me. I'm walking with you. Don't be surprised if you feel the atmosphere shift again. That's the sound of breakthrough. That's the vibration of prayers reaching fulfillment. That's the echo of silence turning into song. What was once hidden is being revealed. But it's not for display, it's for purpose. You've emerged from the stillness with more than strength. You've come out carrying a sound that breaks barriers and a spirit that moves mountains. You are ready not just to be seen, but to lead, to build, to bless. So step forward, not with anxiety, but with assurance. The silence served you well. And now, the voice that once felt distant is flowing without restriction. I'm not holding back anymore. You're ready. And everything I reserved for this hour is beginning to unfold. Every obstruction that once blocked your path is being lifted, and the road ahead, though still unfamiliar, is now made accessible. You've walked carefully for so long, afraid to step too far or too fast, worried that a wrong move would cost you progress. But now I want you to know the pathway has been cleared. I've gone ahead not just to open doors, but to remove snares. The barriers you once saw as permanent were only temporary. You didn't have to break them down. I dismantled them myself. That's what I've been doing while you waited. I've been working behind the scenes in places you couldn't reach, shifting structures that were never meant to hold you back forever. You've been hesitant to move forward because the past left residue, uncertainty, hesitation, the fear of repeat pain. But this next season doesn't carry the same traps. You're not stepping into a cycle, you're stepping into fulfillment. The patterns that used to derail your confidence have lost their power. The strategies that the enemy once used to confuse and detour you will no longer be effective. Why? Because your discernment has matured. You no longer walk by surface signs, you walk by the deep knowledge of my leading. And I have spoken. It's time to move. You're not walking alone. I'm not watching from a distance. I'm walking beside you, shoulder to shoulder, guiding each step with intentionality. And even when you feel like you're stepping into the unknown, know this: the unknown to you is fully known to me. What's hidden to your sight is crystal clear in my view. I see the bends in the path, the turns you don't expect, the hills you didn't prepare for. But I've already adjusted your pace to match the terrain. You won't be overwhelmed because I've calibrated the journey to suit the strength I've built inside of you. Now, let go of the pressure to figure it all out in advance. I'm not asking you to see every destination before you begin. I'm inviting you to trust the guide. You don't need to see every detail when you walk with the one who authored the entire map. I hold the blueprint. I chart the course. And as you follow, you'll begin to realize that the path isn't as difficult as it once felt. It's not because the road changed, it's because you've changed. The weight of uncertainty has lifted. The fog of doubt has cleared. And your spirit has grown bold with the assurance that I am present. I know you've worried about making another misstep, repeating previous errors, or opening your heart only to see it mishandled again. But this space you're walking into has been purified. It's been prepared specifically for you. The people I am aligning you with will see you through the lens of purpose, not convenience. You will no longer be tolerated, you will be valued. Your presence won't feel like a burden, because I am surrounding you with those who are equipped to honor what you carry. This time, the room you enter will fit the weight of your call. You don't need to apologize for being ready. You don't need to diminish the strength I've forged in you. You've walked through refining fire and come out with substance. What was lost in earlier seasons is being restored now, not just in measure, but in meaning. And as you walk into this open space, you'll feel something different, not the resistance of before, but the ease that comes with alignment. Doors will open without you pushing. Resources will find you without chasing. Confirmation will flow without begging for it. It's the evidence that I've gone before you. Walk forward not with arrogance, but with quiet strength. You don't have to prove your readiness, I've already validated it. Let each step be filled with the awareness that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The ground you're walking on has been prayed over, wept over, prepared through years of unseen obedience. You're not just stepping into a new season, you're stepping into a prepared place. And I am the one who prepared it. Welcome to the path that was always yours. It's time. The waiting never made sense to you. You wondered why doors stayed closed while others advanced. You asked me, again and again, what more had to be done, what lesson was left, what fault still needed fixing. And in that quiet tension, you learned to carry hope without answers. But tonight, I want you to know, the time it took was not punishment, it was perfection. What seemed like delay was me protecting the timing of your unveiling. Because what I'm about to place in your life is not temporary, and things of eternal value can't be rushed. You're about to understand why I allowed every pause, every redirection, every lonely night. Nothing was wasted. Every hour served a purpose. There were things I had to align beyond your sight. People had to be prepared. Atmospheres needed to be adjusted. Circumstances that didn't involve you directly still needed to fall into place before you could walk into what I promised. You didn't fail, things just weren't ready. And now, they are. The stage you're stepping into has been cleared of the obstacles that would have drained you. You won't have to fix what others broke. I've already handled it. Your hands are free to build, not to battle. This is the moment where you shift from waiting to receiving, from surviving to establishing. The reason it felt so long is because what I'm doing is so much larger than what you expected. You prayed for answers. I've been preparing legacy. You asked for healing. I've been orchestrating resurrection. You thought you were behind schedule, but you were actually ahead of distractions that would have sabotaged your future. I held you back not to punish you, but to preserve the magnitude of what I'm releasing now. You will not just walk into opportunity, you will walk into overflow. And the contrast between where you were and where I'm taking you will become a testimony all by itself. You've matured during the delay in ways you didn't even realize. You respond with patience now instead of panic. You move in peace instead of pressure. And most importantly, you trust me in silence. That trust is the foundation of everything I'm building next. I couldn't allow acceleration before that trust took root, because what I'm giving you now will require unshakable reliance on my voice above all else. There will be moments ahead where no one will understand what I've told you to do, but you will, because we've built a history together in the dark. And that private history is what will keep you grounded in public elevation. So many others would have walked away, but you stayed. You didn't even know how strong you'd become until you realized that storms don't scare you anymore. You've been weathered, not worn out. And now, I'm clothing you with a confidence that doesn't need to shout. It speaks through your consistency, your calm, your clarity. The strength didn't come from a book or a crowd, it came from me. And because of that, no one can take it from you. Soon, people will start to ask how everything changed so quickly. But they didn't see the nights you cried out. They weren't there when you worshiped through disappointment. They didn't witness the quiet sacrifices, the things you surrendered when no one was watching. But I did. And I've been writing a story through your life that is about to unfold before their eyes. Not to show off, but to show them what I can do with someone who yields completely. What I'm about to do with you will bring healing to others who have been questioning if I still move, if I still speak, if I still come through. Your life will answer that question loudly. So when the breakthrough begins to manifest, stay steady. Don't lose the intimacy that was formed in the in-between. Don't trade connection for comfort. Stay near. Stay yielded. The reward is not just the visible change, it's the invisible authority that will rest on your words and presence. You're not being elevated just to experience blessing. You're being raised to become a blessing. And now, the moment has arrived. Everything is in place. You're about to see why it had to take this long. And when you do, you'll realize my timing was never late. It was perfect. The shift you're beginning to feel isn't your imagination. Something real is happening in the atmosphere around you. It may feel subtle at first, a peace where there used to be tension, an inner clarity where confusion once lived, but what's starting tonight is more than just internal. Everything that surrounds you is responding to the word I spoke over your life. Creation recognizes my voice. When I declare movement, everything begins to align. Doors adjust. Hearts soften. Circumstances that seem fixed begin to bend toward my will. You're not waiting for breakthrough or it's already in motion. The reason things feel different is because they are. My word is causing the environment around you to shift in preparation for your next. Even nature understands this principle. When I speak, things must move. When I call forth rain, clouds gather. When I say light, darkness retreats. And when I proclaim destiny over you, heaven and earth cooperate to carry it forward. You are not walking through life randomly. You are walking in alignment with my declaration. I didn't just whisper over your future, I shouted it into the fabric of time. That's why resistance intensified, because the enemy recognized what was activated before you did. But no opposition can cancel what I've commanded. Delay doesn't equal denial. And silence doesn't mean absence. It means I've been setting the stage for the grand unveiling. You sensed the energy around you change. That's not coincidence, it's spiritual law at work. When I send forth my word, it does not return void. It fulfills everything it was assigned to do. So every prophetic word you've received, every confirmation you've carried in your heart, every vision I placed before your eyes, it's all part of what is now becoming visible. You're walking into the manifestation of promises I made when no one else was listening. Those private moments we shared are now bearing public fruit. I've reblosed by purpose. I am removing limitations that once felt immovable. Barriers are crumbling without noise. Where you once